Scientists who study the remains of ancient historical figures to learn about their health history need to first ask themselves if their investigation is a legitimate scientific inquiry or is motivated by mere curiosity. Okay, so scientists who study the remains of these figures need to first do this. An investigation into a private matter such as health history is justified only if it is done for the advancement of scientific knowledge. All right, so an investigation into a private matter such as health history is so if this study is justified, what does that mean, Brittany?
If it's justified, then you have to have a legitimate reason in order to do it. Maybe? No, I have no idea.
What about this last sentence? How would you write
Then it has to be done for advancement of scientific
the
knowledge.
advancement of scientific knowledge?
Yeah.
Excellent. All right, go ahead and be what V says.
Okay. You forget that curiosity is the root of scientific inquiry. Many great scientific discoveries were motivated by curiosity alone.
All right. So this was not the kind of question that I thought it was going to be, but Malika, what kind of question is this?
We're asking how, or I guess is it a disagree, a point?
You're getting beat up on these today.
Or responds to an argument.
Reasoning. It's going to be okay. So that's okay. Reasoning. So we're asking, like, what does V do to P's conclusion?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So so I have to read P again, to be honest, because I'm kind of confused. So P says scientists who study the remains of ancient historical figures to learn about their health history. So for us to do this, we need to first ask if their investigation is a legitimate scientific inquiry or if it's motivated by mere curiosity. And it's justified only if it's done for the advancement of scientific knowledge. Okay, so they're saying you first have to ask this question, but the only one that justifies it is if the answer is this. And then V responds by saying, like, you forget that curiosity is the root of scientific inquiry. Many great scientific discoveries were motivated by curiosity alone. Okay, so what does what does V do, Malika, when she responds to P?
So basically V is saying that it's not just the advancement of scientific knowledge, or that like curiosity is a factor that influences an investigation that therefore helps the advancement of scientific knowledge.
Yeah, we kind of put this whole and say motive, like curiosity alone is a good enough reason. Because I feel like the big difference between these two. All right, go ahead and read C, Malika.
Okay. Offering a counterexample to a generalization in P's conclusion. I cross that off because
we don't give a counterexample. All right, what's one that you would cross off pretty quickly, Brittany?
E, maintaining that P's argument is based on inconsistent premises.
Yeah, we don't say that P contradicts himself, like, oh, you say this and then you say this, like those are contradicting each other. Excellent. All right, Malika, what about D?
Attempting to draw a distinction between two views that P treats as a single view. So I think this is the one I chose, but it's wrong because
you chose it. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. So I don't think there's two views.
Yeah, what?
I think it's still a single view.
What are we're trying to decide, like, say, like, hey, you're sharing your view and there's actually two things going on within that view. What would be the two views that P treats as a single view?
So health, what health, like an investigation. The HH day, I think, is the single view, but then for that, you need both, or V saying curiosity influences that.
But V doesn't attempt to draw a distinction between two views, right? Like V doesn't respond by saying, like, you have this view, but really there's these two different views that are there.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like D is really hard to try to make work in any way. Do you agree? Like,
Yeah.
If you switch that one around, though, I think that one was tricky because if it says attempting to draw a distinction between two views, so he kind of does show like there's either you're choosing between like scientific inquiry or curiosity, and then but he doesn't treat them as one view. So I feel like if they had taken off that like line that says that he treats them as a single view.
oh yeah, that's the part that makes it very wrong.
Like if they had taken that part out, I would have totally picked that one.
Like, I don't see, yeah, like, but in no way is V like responding and saying like, hey, these two things are different.
No.
Yeah.
She's saying this one, like, I think that she agrees actually that there are two views, or like this thing and this one, but this one thing is the only thing that's needed.
Okay. Okay.
Where P thinks both are needed. All right, what about B, Malika?
Disputing the validity of a principle that P explicitly states. No, I don't think there is like a principle that, I don't think she's disputing that I don't think she's disputing it. She's just saying that one thing plays a bigger role than the other. Correct? Right?
I struggled with this question.
What the principle was.
What?
I was like, I don't think there's a principle. I don't see a principle. I don't think that's it.
I read it as a premise, and I was like, disputing the validity of a premise that P explicitly states.
Oh.
And but the reason that it's wrong is V like doesn't say for a fact that P is wrong. It just says like you're forgetting about this option. So V is like more of a weakener to P than like saying like you are wrong because of this. And so for B to be correct, we actually would have to specifically prove that one of the premises is wrong. And we don't do that.
Okay.
We just say like you're forgetting about this over here. Like I think that curiosity is enough. But just because P thinks curiosity or V thinks curiosity alone is enough doesn't mean that P is wrong.
Okay, that makes sense.
This one's hard. And then what about A, Malika?
Contending that P's argument rests on an untenable, distinction. So that's the curiosity and the advancement of scientific knowledge. V is saying that you kind of need that curiosity to get to your reasoning to do the advancement of scientific knowledge. So I guess that's like the untenable distinction.
It's like, we don't need to have both of these. Curiosity enough is what will work.
Yeah.
Yeah, my vocabulary skills failed on that one because I was like, untenable? Untenable? Like I could not remember what that word meant.
So untenable would be like an unnecessary, right?
Yeah, it's like
look it up. Untenable.
I looked it up because it's not able to be maintained or defended. So like if you're not able to defend your distinction, like you can't tell.
Word of the day, untenable.
Yeah, that one I was like, I feel like I should know this word. I know how to say this word, but why don't I know the definition? That's what tripped me up.
I would have been with unnecessary, and I'm like, all right, good enough.